All right, we are live. Hi, Amy. How are you
Hi,
doing today?
Hi, Kent. I'm great, thank you. How
Thanks for
are you?
joining me this morning, and I know it's your afternoon over there. Welcome to our weekly live show, where we bring you success stories, insight, perspectives, and wisdom learned from mistakes to help others, especially young entrepreneurs, accelerate their growth. Right. So this week we feature Amy Olausson Fourounjieva. I hope I didn't butcher your last name. My apology there. Amy is a transformational coach for leaders, senior leaders in digital, and helping them activate the winning mindset and drive exponential growth. Amy started working in the area of digital and tech over 20 years. In time, she has a PhD in IT management. Her leadership skills and expertise in digital are proven in practice. Emmy's coaching and mentoring programs help senior leaders reduce silos, cover gaps, and connect the dots in order to boost their potential. She has a powerful three-step adapt and thrive framework for leaders, helps turn challenges into opportunities and find different perspectives to get unstuck and move forward with joy and ease. I would love to hear more about that, Emmy. Emmy is the right person to work with if you need an inspiration and motivation, energy, and a refined strategy, winning mindset, and techniques to drive through disruption and design for the future of your dreams. Emmy, that's quite a mouthful there when it comes to your intro. So thank you for sharing that. How are you doing today, and where are you dialing in from?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with you, and it's a great opportunity to share my experience, my story, and my insights with those who
Mhm.
are probably just starting this path or who feel that they are stuck, that they are somehow losing the sight of their future, and they feel that the plans need to be readjusted, realigned, and
Mhm.
the goal needs to get some more clarity and
Sure.
some more inspiration along the way. That's absolutely powerful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're living at such times. It is absolutely unbelievable. All this disruption around all those technologies and
Hmm.
everything we are going through as humans. This is just such a fantastic shift,
Yep.
very painful in one hand, and enabling our growth as never before in
Yeah.
the other hand. So it is basically as usual, both, but it's up to each and one to decide how they are going to use this crisis.
Love
Are
it.
they going to get down and get just weaker and give up? Or are they going to use it as a wave to just ride it?
Right, right. We'll get into that more about the mindset and how to cope around what the current state of where we are. Right now, let's take a walk down the memory lane. Let's give our listeners a little bit of perspective and how you started all your journey, how you started this journey yourself. Tell us what were you doing prior to going into entrepreneurship.
I have been working with IT and digital whole my life,
Mm-hmm.
in different areas, in a different way, in different countries, with different parts of it. But basically, digital transformation, I have been with it and a part of it and a driver of it for basically whole my life. And I had a team. I was in charge for data analytics and insights as a leader in a big corporation, helping different companies across several European countries
Mm-hmm.
to drive the change to get better results, and we were getting fantastic results to adopt new technologies and introduce data driven decision making. So basically data analytics, everything around connecting business and technology and creating a fantastic experience online. That's what I'm working with.
Got it. So you have been surrounding yourself with all kinds of data-driven approach towards leadership and also
Ex-
digital transformation. And it looks like you're just somewhat similar, to my background because I was also in that field for a long time as well. Just surround myself with technology and developing platforms. So thank you for sharing that. Now I know you're now doing a lot of things, and one of which is coaching senior leaders with your three touch method, right? But what was the catalyst that drove your decision making to start your own company?
As for many, this Corona pandemics,
Mhm.
it became that point which turned me into a leader who couldn't handle anymore bad leadership within the organization.
Got it.
So I saw too much people going through challenges, going through pain, and going through all those questions. Should I stay or should I go? What should I do? Who am I? And what is my future? And how am I going to address this crisis? How am I going to lead? So, on one hand, it was to help leaders to acquire this leadership of the future
Mhm.
because the old methods are not working anymore, and it
Got
is critical to disrupt yourself before you start disrupting the organization. And all those digital leaders who are working with fantastic technologies and they have so much on their table and everything is developing so much, martech ecosystem, it is developing incredibly fast, and we as humans have to come along. We have to see the perspective and the human being besides this artificial intelligence, and we have to see how they are going to coexist and to create a brighter future. So
it.
all this together and all the stress put on the shoulders of senior leaders, it made me wishing really doing more than I was doing to help them, to support them, to enable them and empower them,
Hmm.
because many of them I could see in many countries, in many different corporations, organizations, in many different teams. They got stuck, they got frozen, they got some kind of paralysis because it was really difficult. It was difficult to deal with lack of confidence, with fear of failure,
Yep.
and the risks became much higher,
Hmm.
and all those authenticity issues which just arise. And many of them had some kind of resistance to change as well, and it became only worse along the way. And the imposter syndrome,
Yep.
which many of leaders had from before, it became a critical factor. So all those issues had to be addressed, and leaders just need to have more impact and achieve their goals in an easy and nice way, and empower their team to follow along and want to participate, because it's really really difficult to create this feeling of belonging nowadays. And I see this problem across whole the world, basically, that um, the the corporate world is going through many questions which didn't exist a few years ago. Nobody was questioning, should I stay in the office or should I work on distance? Should I work remotely? Should I do this or invent something new and try to catch up with my dreams, basically? So
Got
many many questions, and I see that many leaders are changing their path and taking steps from the corporate world as well toward their dreams, toward their vision, uh, toward their freedom, probably.
it.
But at the same time, I see a huge potential for those who stay with corporations, with the corporate world, to create a better world for real. Because it is really I love corporate world. It is challenging. It is exciting, difficult sometimes, but at the same time, it's very powerful, and it's really interesting to be a part of this world. Just the skills and techniques you have to have in place, the mindset, it's the foundation for everything. It has to be there, and
Mhm.
it has to be transformed. So it is time for transformation for every leader today,
Mm.
because we have to see what's going on with a fresh way of looking at it. We need helicopter perspective.
Mm.
We have to introduce new solutions, and it is about becoming more human as well. Because yes, I am working with technologies and with all those hard pieces
Mhm.
which can exist in the world of IT and digital, but at the same time, I'm seeing the power of a human being and the importance of placing humans front and center and creating that balance and harmony so that humans can be empowered and just get stronger with technologies.
Yeah, I agree that with the outbreak of the pandemic, uh, they definitely we call for strong leaders all across the board. And to create strong leaders, we need your expertise and your guidance, right? To be alongside with those leaders, so that they can show up for their followers or their organizations. Yeah. So I mean, for me, working for big organizations in the past, that can be undervalued or overlooked. This is so important because most people looked up to their leaders for guidance, how to navigate the space. So thank you for sharing that with us today. Now, I'm pretty sure there is no uh, success without failures. It's like they're like two sides of the same coin, right? So if you don't mind, I'm pretty sure you have plenty of success stories to share. Can you share one success stories and one failure so that the audience can learn from and also avoid if they happen to go through the same path as you?
I can absolutely do it, and I can do it in a more generic way. So, from success stories, I can take one very concrete story. Uh, when I started in that corporation without having a team, without having solutions in place, I was just supposed to work with data and analytics. And I lifted it all up to the next level because I wanted my company to thrive. I wanted my company to be competitive and to really use the potential of everything what there is in terms of solutions, technologies, and processes, and the communication in place as well between different functions, between different stakeholders to enable the process. And as it was a global corporation with several countries involved, in every country there are different rules, different limitations, and on top of that, this different culture, different way of leading, and different type of organizations. In some countries, the organizations are quite flat. In some others, they are very deep vertically, and the power of
Hierarchy,
the leadership
right?
is different.
Multiple levels of hierarchy in.
Exactly. And, depending on the culture, for example, there is the difference between the US and European countries. In the US, you are probably more used to the harder leadership style, where the leader takes the decision and then it's case closed. In Europe, it's more about lifting it within the organization and coming up to the conclusion, taking decision, and then revising the decision from time to time, and being more open, and probably more loyal as well. So it has its advantages and disadvantages, every
Sure,
leadership style.
sure.
uh, and it is not always obvious to keep in mind all those small or bigger details which are impacting the result and the outcome. But it is absolutely critical for leaders to keep that part, the geographical difference, the cultural difference in mind as well. I could see it even within Europe, different countries, different mindset, different approach, and even the tone of voice has to be different.
Hmm.
So, anyways, I had a big dream. As usual, my vision, my dreams, and ambitions are bigger than any organization. I've been working with many different uh, really big organizations and corporations.
Hmm.
And I wanted to get best in breed, the best possible solution to create that customer experience, digital experience across all our digital presence in different countries, so that we could be the best. We could understand them. We could take data driven decisions. We could introduce this data driven decision making within the organization, top to bottom. So, C level and the level under, and those who are working with those processes and questions hands on, everybody should use data and look into the same sources. And when they were meeting in the room, they should use the same language. They should use the same reference and understand each other and thrive for the better business outcomes
Hmm.
and for the better experience, because there are always two parts, and the one doesn't exist without the other one. You have to think about the business objectives, and you have to care about the experience, digital experience, because if there are no customers, there is no business.
That's right.
But if you only care about customers, you might lose your capacity to please your customers and meet their expectations and create better experience as well. So it is really important to keep it well balanced. So in
Agree.
the end of the day, I succeeded create a business case and introduce that solution, and not only introduce it, but take it all the way up. And the solution was Content Square. It's a well-known solution all
Sure.
over the world,
Hmm.
and it helped us as corporation to create a totally different way of existing, being, collaborating. It
Yeah.
reduced silo effect and introduced completely different processes and way of thinking. And that sparkle in the eyes when you see your leaders which are using data, which are talking to each other in a new way, which are following new processes, and they see a clear future, and take hold the team alone. So
Hmm.
it is really amazing, and that helped us very much going through the crisis when corona came. I had a team with data scientists and data analysts, etc. So we were helping hold the organization to go through and to understand what's going on, to try to create something proactively to fortify our business, to try to take new shares of market, to enable leaders, because it is really difficult and painful to be a leader in such a situation. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how long it's going to continue. You see that your logistics is under disruption. You see that nobody knows what's coming next. Should you keep investing into marketing? Should you keep investing into new technologies, solutions, etc., or should you just minimize everything and keep low profile. It's really difficult to take those decisions.
Right, right. And it is also very challenging too because there's just the timing of everything is so complex, right? You know,
Exactly.
we're in a semi recession or recession at the moment, and everybody is like watching their back and they're kind of concerned. So, no better time now to rise up as a true leader.
Yeah.
We do have a LinkedIn user that may comment on your YouTube what you just shared, that is true, that both the balance of both, right? Know your customer and upload level the digital experience or digital expertise. Yeah. So love to hear what you just had shared there in terms of entrepreneurs love to learn from mistakes because there's a old saying that a smart man learns from their own mistakes. A wise man learn from their own mistakes and others' mistakes, right? So, what mistakes have you made that you look back and you go, "Oh my goodness, I wish I did not make that mistake," but I'm glad I did because I've learned so much from it. So, what was that, and how would you would you kind of to share that so that other people, or other entrepreneurs, can avoid uh, the same mistake?
That's a great question, and absolutely, we all have mistakes along the way, and it is natural because it is impossible to pursue your dreams without taking wrong steps as well. And sometimes even right steps might turn into wrong steps if you don't see a bigger picture. So, overall, I could recommend to think about two things which I see as really critical. The one is better done than perfect,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's really critical to take next step even without having the complete picture, even without having enough with information. But it is about timeline, it is about taking decisions and moving forward and adjusting along the way, being agile, being in the growth mindset, because everything might happen along the way and there are mistakes which happen sometimes, but to just try to reduce everything by slowing down and trying to uh, take only safe steps and only safe moves, it creates a very rigid structure,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's really difficult to compete.
Right, and it also limits your potential as well, right?
Exactly.
When you are taking it, taking the safe way, or trying to be careful versus just take action and just let things unfold naturally, and then you can then see your potential of where they might go, right?
Absolutely. And potential, that's the key word in whole this story,
Hmm.
because the self-awareness and tapping into the inner power, that's something really, really important.
Right.
And that's what I'm helping with as well, because without tapping into your inner power, it is impossible to tap into the vision, into what you are going to create. You have to be in connection from inside and out,
Hmm.
and that's really important. And the other thing is seeing the bigger picture,
Hmm.
because sometimes it is, specifically in times of crisis, in times of higher stress levels, it is really easy to cut off certain sources and narrow down your vision,
Hmm.
and it happens quite naturally, but it doesn't help a lot because it just cuts down your ability to stay resilient, to keep moving, to see all the opportunities which are arising during the crisis times as well. So don't don't sink into the details too much. Keep always a little bit of space to take a look outside, to get that helicopter perspective and to see the bigger picture, to understand what are you doing, what is the needle mover. That Pareto principle 20/80, it's always there. It is important to find those parts which are helping you to grow, which are helping you to move forward faster. That's why I'm talking always about exponential growth. Because somebody is growing and that's a natural process, the wave is moving and you might move along with the wave, with
Mhm.
the stream. But if you feel that you have a bigger potential, higher potential, if you feel that you would like to move forward faster, then it is absolutely important to enable the growth mindset, to review who you are, what your values are, and just give a little bit of time to yourself, to their dreaming, to
Mhm.
their thinking. What would you like to be? What would you like to achieve? Because it's a new world
Yep.
and we are not the same. And it is such a fantastic opportunity here and now to think, what is your dream? What would you like to be in 5 years? What would you like to be in half a year, 1 year? Because it's always important to take a shorter horizon and then, some kind of longer perspective.
Mhm. So thank you for sharing the those two nuggets that you just went over. Always just take action, right? Don't have to be perfect. And then the second thing, take a wider perspective, take a helicopter view. I like that from you. The helicopter view basically encompasses a lot when you look down as you go way up there. um, that those are really great nuggets there that we can take away with. Thank you for sharing that. Now, what advice do you give for young entrepreneurs who just starting out? Maybe they're in the first 3 years of entrepreneurship, and they might run into challenges. What advice would you give them, even for leaders, right? For leaders in the corporate world, or in having or running for their own organizations, or their own companies. What advice would you give them?
Uh, I would advise to just believe in yourself, to feel your inner power,
Mm,
because everything starts with who you are, what you believe in. Everything started with a dream.
right.
So even if you think about the biggest innovations we're using today as something natural, someday it didn't exist. And somebody came and said, you know what? I have a vision. I have a dream and
Hmm.
it's going to come true.
Nice.
And we still have that opportunity to turn our dreams into reality and create something new. And the world is really redefined today. And so much is created from scratch and presented in a totally different new way. So there is plenty of opportunities to express yourself and show what you really can, and not letting lack of confidence or fear of failure, or something, somebody from outside stopping you being fearless, resilient, unstoppable, and at the same time taking decisions which are really um, based on critical thinking, on curiosity, on innovation,
Hmm.
and create that feeling of belonging around you. Because, no matter what you are working with, no matter what you are dreaming about, there will be challenges, there will be opportunities, but the human factor, the communication, the soft skills, this connection, human to human, heart to heart, and heart centered business, even when you are using logics, absolutely, because I am using logics. It's a built-in part of my professional world and everything.
Hmm.
But I see many leaders, many entrepreneurs who are just preferring not to use those softer skills, not to use their intuition, but just base everything on logics, on those hard intellectual conclusions. But I would recommend to put those two worlds together, to put the soft world and the hard world, and find the synergy effect in
Hmm.
order to enable your potential and don't let anything or anybody stop you. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, uh, just keep moving, keep moving. There will be strong winds, there will be underwater stones, but it's all about your vision. If you believe that you can, if you came up with that idea and you trust yourself, your inner voice, that this is yours, then don't give up. It's really easy to give up sometimes, but it is important to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, yeah. As a leader, you have to set an example, right? And I love what you said about show up with your heart. Although there's some logic component to it, but as humans, we always make decision with our heart, and then use the logic to justify it and to back it up. Yeah, so thank you. There's a LinkedIn comment there that says we are deeply self-aware. We can actually connect more deeply with others, which help our business move forward more effectively. Very true.
Beautiful, beautiful. Exactly. That's how it is for real.
Hmm. Okay. Last but not least, what kind of services are you offering at the moment, and how do people find you, Emmy?
At the moment, I have the program Adapt and Thrive Exponential Growth for Leaders. It's a 12 weeks program where I'm helping leaders, mostly in digital, but leaders overall, to unlock next level. If they feel that they're stuck, then I'm helping them to get unstuck. I'm helping to become more empowered and drive positive change. And it's based on these 3 steps framework.
Hmm.
And in the end of the day, it's about customizing your reality, tapping into your inner power, and just un- unpacking the next stage in this game. And I see fantastic results, really, with those I'm working with. They get so much inner power and that light which is just shining through, you know to see how somebody who was stressed and overwhelmed and not sure about next steps can turn into something so different and so beautiful. It is really fantastic. That's one part. And the other part, it's mentorship, one-to-one sessions, which I offer on a basis of weekly meetings, or there is VIP package, unlimited time with me.
Got it. Wow. Thank you for sharing what you're up to. I am pretty sure many leaders will benefit from your expertise in a time like this, right? And especially in a time like this, because we all need leaders to rise up and take charge and lead their people. So having you at their side, having you at their corner would be a tremendous growth opportunity for them to explore and maximize the potential. So thank you for being here, Emmy. We want to wrap it up. Let me check to see if there's any last minute LinkedIn comment. Yeah, it's that one of them says agreed, checking on growth versus scarcity mindset. Yep. That's
Yes.
very key, right?
Yeah.
Knowing your growth mindset versus scarcity mindset helps you determine which side you're on and how to stop if you're on a scarcity mindset to switch over to the growth mindset. If you're on the growth mindset, then we have to be cautious and conscious of how how far we can go, right? When once you're on that trajectory and the potential it can take you there. But with the other,
Scarcity.
mhm,
Yes, sorry. I feel that scarcity doesn't work anymore. And that's exactly the difference between leadership of the future and those old models where there was quite a bit of scarcity
mhm,
in
yeah,
those tools and techniques, and it doesn't work anymore. Because the stronger we become, the deeper we tap into who we are and what we want, the more difficult it is to rule, basically. And that's why this change where people doesn't want to come back to the offices anymore, it scarcity doesn't work.
100%.
They're just losing their best stars. They are losing the most talented members of the team, because
Hmm.
they might say, you're going to be fired, but next step that the person is coming and saying, you know what, I can't follow along this journey with you anymore. It's not my game anymore. So thank you so much, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
And there is no way to force,
Yeah. There's no, yeah, force is not the right answer to anything, anyways, right? So having the right mentorship, having you at their corner would definitely be an advantage for them to excel in their leadership role. Well, that's all for today. If you are watching or watching the replay and have questions, feel free to drop in a comment, and one of us will get back to you. Thank you for showing up, Emmy. Thank you for being here. We are
Thank you.
grateful for you to show up and share your lovely experience, your story, and most importantly, the golden nuggets that you share with us. So we appreciate you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kent. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. Have a good one. I know it is a Friday afternoon for you, so enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Bye.
Bye bye.